Men, if you want to know how to treat women in the 21st century, just look at how Taliban jihadis treat women and do the exact opposite. There's a new problem in Afghanistan. Many Afghan soldiers were killed by the Taliban. Many of those who weren't killed fled. Whether the Afghan soldiers were killed or they ran, they left behind a lot of women and girls, wives, mothers, daughters, sisters. Some of these women and girls are being taken by Taliban jihadis as wives or sex slaves. Those who aren't taken as wives or sex slaves are expected to feed Taliban jihadis. The problem is that these women and girls aren't allowed to work because the Taliban is now in charge. So how can these women and girls keep feeding the Taliban when they have no income? And how do Taliban jihadis react when the women and girls tell them that they have no money for food? Let's find out. CNN reports. Najia was at home with her 3 young sons and daughter in a small village in northern Afghanistan when Taliban fighters knocked on their door. Najia's daughter, Manisha, 25, knew they were coming. Her mother had told her they'd done the same thing the previous 3 days, demanding that she cook food for up to 15 fighters. My mother told them, "I am poor. How can I cook for you?" said Manisha. The Taliban started beating her. My mother collapsed, and they hit her with their guns, AK-47s. Notice, Najia made a good point. How can I feed 15 hungry jihadis when I have nothing to feed them and I'm not allowed to work to get money to buy something? The Taliban responded by beating her to death and burning her house to the ground. Manisha said she yelled at the fighters to stop. They paused for a moment before throwing a grenade into the next room and fleeing as the flames spread, she said. The mother of 4 died from the beating. The deadly July 12th attack on Najia's home in Faryab province was a chilling preview of the threat now facing women across Afghanistan after the Taliban's takeover of the capital, Kabul. CNN is using aliases for Najia and Manisha to protect their identity for safety reasons. You know, I don't think the women and girls of Afghanistan will be safe, no matter how many times CNN changes their names. The Taliban denied killing Najia, the mother in Faryab province, but their words are contradicted by witnesses and local officials who confirmed the death of a 45-year-old woman whose home was set alight. A neighbor who yelled at the men to stop said many women in Najia's village are the widows of Afghan soldiers. They earn a living selling milk, but the Taliban won't allow that, she said. We don't have men in our house. What shall we do? We want schools, clinics, and freedom, like other women, men, other people. So, no men in the house to work or protect them. The men are all gone. They died or they fled. The women aren't allowed to work, so they're poor and starving. But somehow they're expected to cook meals for Taliban jihadis who will beat the women to death and burn their houses down if they don't magically come up with plenty of food. Welcome to the new Afghanistan. It's just like the old Afghanistan, but this time the Taliban has a lot of American weapons to terrorize the population.
You tried on that. You tried on that. You tried on that. It just backfired on you. You tried on that. You tried on that. You tried on that. It just backfired on you. This is a part of a religion. There's a reason to it. Yeah?